It's 6 o'clock. We're going to start off with some presentations. John?
Yes, we'll start off. I just want to, we're going to recognize 3 retirees. And each month we recognize those employees who have decided to retire and recognize them for their service. The first one is Gene Hall. His retirement date is going to be October 10th. He was hired on 8/5 of 2002 and as a utility service worker with the water department. Gene's not here with us tonight, so I'm going to pass this back for Second, Helen Parker. Is Helen here? Okay. Miss Helen is going to be retiring on the 24th. She was originally hired in January of 2001 as an intake deputy clerk in juvenile court. And last but definitely not least, Ms. Sharna Parker, retirement date of 11/7/2025, hired in 1996 as a clerk in the Planning and Development Department, promoted to office manager in 97, promoted to assistant director in 06, and promoted to director, and retiring as director in 2025. So, congratulations on your retirement, presented to Sharna Parker. In sincere appreciation of your dedicated years of service with Walton County Board of Commissioners, we hope you enjoy your retirement and your well-deserved retirement, November 7th, 2025. Thank you. That was a hard one.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, if ever...
Walton County is the best place to work ever, and I love my work family. They come to me. So I just wanted y'all to know that. Thank you for all the years. It has been the most incredible job ever. It is the best place to work. I recommend it to anybody. I love every one of y'all. Thank you.
Sharna, with all that said, you're welcome to stay now.
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, if everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, thank you so much for this day. Please watch over us tonight as we make decisions for the county, and please help us, guide us, and help us to make the right decision. Father, we all love Miss Sharna, and we hope that you can look down on her as she starts a new chapter in her life and help everything go her way. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, I officially call our November meeting to order and let the roll call show that all commissioners are present. We have a proclamation that I'm proud to read for Poppy Day. This proclamation is for Poppy Day. America is a land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers. Millions who have answered the call to arms have died on the field of battle. A nation at peace must be reminded of the price of war and the debt owed to those who have died in war. The red poppy has been designated as a symbol of sacrifice of lives in all wars. And whereas the American Legion Auxiliary has pledged to remind America annually of this debt through the distribution of the memorial flower. And whereas Mona, Belle, Michael, who conceived the idea of using poppies as a symbol of remembrance, was born in Walton County in 1869. Therefore, I, David G. Thompson, Chairman of the Walton County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim the 11th day of November, 2025, as Poppy Day, and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy on this day. And we have a young lady that would like to comment on Poppy Day, and feel free to come forward.
The miracle flower, the red poppy. What is it? A symbol of hope, the vibrant red flowers flourished in the battle-scarred soil after World War II, becoming a powerful and enduring symbol of hope and renewal amidst devastation. A symbol of remembrance. The poppy represents the blood shed by fallen soldiers and serves as a reminder in the sacrifices made in war. How is it used? A lasting tribute, the poppy is a symbol of remembrance for those who have died in conflict, as well as those who have served and those who are still serving today. Supporting veterans. In many countries, the artificial poppies are sold to raise funds for veteran support programs, helping to provide medical and financial aid to veterans and their families. The efforts of Mowena Michael, born in Good Hope, Georgia, led to the adoption of the poppy as a symbol of remembrance of war veterans in 1921. A poppy-covered anchor is launched annually on Memorial Day for the American Legion Auxiliary Department of Georgia in memory of those who lost their lives at sea. The tradition was first introduced by Mowena Michael in the Georgia Tech Naval Armory. This year, ALA members of the 10th District, which includes Walton County, are assigned the task of the Memorial Poppy Anchor construction. On May 25, 2026, the poppy anchor will be transported to Tybee Island, Georgia, where it will be carried into the Atlantic Ocean and committed to the deep waters in memory of those heroes. As the red of the poppies color the water, we solemnly remember those that gave the ultimate gift of life, that we might remain free.
Thank you very much. Now, if you too would come forward and receive this proclamation. And
Thank you.
Donna, where are you at? You getting pictures? Okay. Thank y'all. Okay, you have the agenda before you. Are there any additions or deletions? If not, I entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. We have a motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimous. John, discussion.
The update that I have for you tonight, we currently have 76,916 registered voters. Polls are open until 7 o'clock tonight, so I think we have about 50 minutes if you haven't made it to vote. Public Works, we've got quite a bit of activity and things wrapping up. Shoulders on Kirk Road have been seeded and backfilled, but this is part of our program with the cities. In the city of Monroe, we have partnered with Monroe through the service delivery agreement and paved East Maribel, Good Hope Road, and Sorrell Street. In the town of Between, we've extended the turn lane, installed culverts, and paved at the area of New Hope Church Road and Highway 78. And we've completed patching and deep patching on Center Hill Church Road and HD Ather Road. And specifically, I wanted to point out that deep patching is the process of what's done to fix the road in anticipation of paving it. We get a lot of questions after they go through and they deep patch because everybody's like, well, why didn't you pave it? Well, they do that in advance of the paving to make sure that everything settles in correctly, and then they come back and pave, and it makes for a much hardier road that lasts a lot longer. Sometimes, to the extent of the patches, they do go back and they actually add the striping. That's a safety feature. It's not that we're just striping and doing a little bit of patching, but we are coming back and doing the complete paving on that road. In fire, they've been in the middle of working on the ISO agreement inspection, and that impacts everybody's insurance rates in Walton County. So they're in the process of doing that. And then they also have 7 vacant positions they're working on filling and recruiting for. In water, we currently have 18,258 customers. The Hard Labor Creek Water Treatment Plant is, construction is going very well, and it's actually several weeks ahead of schedule. HR, Walton County currently right now has 1,018 employees. That includes temp, part-time, full-time, and elected officials. The health clinic utilization is going strong. We're seeing increased dependent usage as well as increased usage of the Text Care feature, where employees and their dependents can utilize that service 24/7. This is a really interesting thing that overall there's a 99.1% satisfaction rate of any of the users of the Walton County Health Employment Clinic. 91% of those are reporting that their visit takes a 10-minute or less wait to even see the medical provider. So we're really hitting on all cylinders there. Also in HR, I wanted to go ahead and announce tonight that next week we will be posting the open positions for Human Resources Director as well as Planning and Development Director. And we will be working with HR on making sure that those are posted next week. We're working on requests from Walnut Grove. There's a couple of two-way stops that they have requested that we evaluate and look at converting into four-way stops. They've also asked for some coordination on reducing the speed limit as you enter the city. They're also going to be working on that with DOT inside the city limits. And there has been a request to work with the city and the developer of the new construction on the Walnut Grove Parkway down below City Hall on a potential multi-use path that would connect into the Grove Walnut Park. So we're working and looking at all those different possibilities there. And in Parks and Rec, the Grove Park in Walnut Grove is going extremely well, and we're looking at probably within a month being able to be completely finished up with that project, again, ahead of schedule and under budget. So that's everything I have for you tonight.
All right, are there any questions from the board on any of the items John covered? All right, hearing none, well done. We'll go to planning and development. Sharna,
She's done.
She's done. This was her last meeting.
pull the microphone down closer. Thank
She's
you.
done. All right. So item number 6.1, Z25-0275, rezone of 7.486 acres from A2 to B2 for convenience store and warehouse buildings. Applicant and owner is Blue Eagle Land Investments, LLC. Property located at 5187 Highway 81 and Bay Creek Church Road, map 39, parcel 8, and it's in District 1. This particular case, the applicant has withdrew his application, and the Planning Commission recommended the acceptance of his withdrawal.
All right. I will open a public hearing on this and turn it over to our county attorney.
If you're inclined to vote to accept the withdrawal, then there'll be no need for a hearing on this.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the withdrawal?
I motion to accept the withdrawal.
All right, we have a motion to accept the withdrawal.
Second.
Have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimous. And before you go to the 6-2, I need to recuse myself and leave the room, turn the meeting over to Commissioner Shelnut, which is the vice chairman.
Item 6.2, LU 25-0310 and Z 25-0309. It's a rezone of 12.23 acres, portion of parcel C85-156 containing 47.42 acres from A2 to B2 for commercial. Property located at 2806 Highway 11, and land use change on remaining portion of C85-156 consisting of 35.19 acres from highway corridor to suburban to be combined with an 83.08 acre portion of maps 85 parcel 149 to be rezoned from A2 and A1 to R1 OSC for a total of 118 acres, 118.27 acres to be developed as a R1 OSC subdivision. This property located off of George Williams Road. The applicant is Ballpates General Contracting LLC. Owner is Bison Estates LLC, and it's in District 5. At the Planning Commission, there were some opposition to the request with concerns of traffic, size of lots, and the location of the entrance. The Planning Commission recommended approval with the following conditions. Commercial property to have professional landscaping, no lighting other than downward lighting, no request in the future for conditional use for outside storage, and commercial building to have brick front facade aesthetically pleasing, agricultural disclosure on every sales contract.
Any questions from the board? I'll turn it over to the attorney.
All right, so we're going to open the public hearing. Before we do, I want to go over the general guidelines again that we follow each month.
Microphone, please.
I'm sorry?
Can you go to the microphone, please?
Sure.
Can you hear me? All right. So the way these public hearings work is each side will be given a total of 10 minutes. So please be mindful of that when you're talking, to give your neighbor a time to be heard as well. The applicant's going to go first. When you approach the podium, please state your name and address, and any time reserved by the applicant out of the 10 minutes can be saved for rebuttal. But again, please be mindful of the time limit so that all of your neighbors can be heard as well. With that, we'll turn it over to the applicant.
Good evening. My name is Andrea Gray. I live at 300 East Church Street, Monroe, Georgia. I'm pleased to be before you tonight to present the zoning request for Bison Landing, a conservation subdivision with a commercial outparcel. Tonight I'm representing Ballpates General Contracting in this request. There we go. Again, the request is to approve a 99-home conservation subdivision that totals 118.27 acres with an additional 12.23 commercial outparcel on Highway 11. As Christy showed you, and I'll have to get used to saying Miss Christy instead of Miss Sharna. That'll be a hard one. The property is located off of George Williams Road with additional frontage on Highway 11. Consists of 2 parcels. Here's the existing zoning map. The parcels are zoned A1 and A2 for the property that is on Highway 11. And again, the requested zoning is R1 OSC for the residential portion and B2 for the commercial. Future land use plan is consistent with our request tonight. The area we're looking to develop the subdivision within is in the suburban character area. And the area we're looking to develop as the commercial outparcel is in the highway corridor designation area. Here's the site plan. Starting at the top of the page, you'll see the entrance there off of George Williams Road. My client has committed to do additional landscaping there at the entrance to put a nice, sign with fencing, very attractive entrance for the residents here. As you move into the development, you'll see there will be pickleball courts, a dog park, and then the mail kiosk will be there as you enter. All the areas you see in green are the open space. So we've got over 28% of the development as open space, which is above ordinance requirements. There will be a mandatory HOA governing this development. Sidewalks, streetlights, underground utilities, as is typical of the R1 OSC developments. And again, we're a lower density here than that required by the ordinance. One other thing to point out on this site plan is you'll see that the existing home on the Bison Estates has been carved out. So that's not part of this development. It doesn't count for the green space and is not counted as a lot. The homes that we'll develop on this property will be high-quality homes with a mix of exterior materials, hardy plank siding, stone and brick accents, variations in roof pitches, with details including board and batten and other eave details to make them unique. We'll have sodded front yards. The minimum square footage will be 2,000 square feet for the homes, and there'll be a variety of architectural styles. As compared to the ordinance requirements, we're above the minimum square footage. We're below the maximum density at 0.84 versus 1 unit per acre, and we've got a little more open space than the 25% at about 28%. Key points for this development is that it's consistent with the comprehensive land use plan, being in the suburban and highway corridor areas. It's consistent with R1 OSC requirements. We're not asking for any variances on this project. There is a market demand for homes of this size on these size of lots in Walton County. The 28% open space is consistent with the conservation initiatives of the county, and it is consistent with other recent developments that you have approved in other areas. Here's a recap of what the request is, but generally we're asking for a 99-home conservation subdivision and a 12-acre commercial out parcel. To get there, there's a couple of steps that are required in the zoning approval process, which one is in the yellow, and that's to rezone 83.03 acres from A1 to R1 OSC. And then second is to change 35.19 acres from highway corridor to the suburban character area. We made that area a little bit smaller and made the commercial parcel smaller than the entire highway corridor designation to start. And then three, rezone 35.19 acres from A2 to R1 OSC. And then finally, rezone 12.23 acres from A2 to B2. The planning commissions that Ms. Christie read off, we're happy to accommodate all these: professional landscaping, commercial property frontage, downward-facing lighting, no outdoor storage, brick on the exterior of the commercial buildings, and to make sure that we include those agricultural disclosures in the sales contracts. And with that, I'd be happy to entertain any questions you have and reserve the balance of my time for rebuttal.
Are there any questions for Ms. Gray at this time? Thank you. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone here who would like to speak in opposition? Please come forward, ma'am.
Try to speak quickly. I'm June Gosling. I live at 3701 Lovers Lane. This is a proposed rezone property. This is how we let me come this way. I am part of this dirt road, this whole acreage right here. We have about 100 acres down there. Our main concern, we know that we cannot stop development within this area. We're not looking to tell someone they can't do something with their property. But our main concern is how can you help us, the residents that currently live there, and accommodate us as well as the people that want to develop this land. We do not want the entrance and exit of this property to be on George Williams Road. The entrance and exit needs to be on Highway 11 where these cars are going to be going. The neighborhood needs water, and the only way the developer can access this water is through Highway 11, through that connection over there. We do not have water on George Williams Road. The people are going to Highway 11 anyways. If they're coming out of this entrance, where are they traveling? They're traveling to Highway 11. Why can't they go out with the entrance and exit already being on Highway 11? I know that Public Works commented within y'all's packet that there's already concern of the increased traffic safety concerns at Highway 11 and George Williams, and that they're requesting a serious evaluation with GDOT on this. So we're looking for that. It's already an issue with the traffic. We don't need any more. The entrance and exit needs to stay on Highway 11. That's where the people are going. Our George Williams Road is an A1 road. You can maintain, and the only way to maintain the beautiful rural character of our road is to have the access to this neighborhood be on Highway 11. This keeps our character, how we all bought our houses, why we wanted to stay there. It keeps it rural while allowing also this development to be there when the entrance and exit is on Highway 11. The commercial rezone request, Ms. Gray had said in the original meeting that we had with the Planning Commission that they were thinking about it being a daycare and office building, and that this commercial area was going to be one that supported the neighborhood. A B2 zoning in code is a highway business used primarily to serve the automotive traveling public. A gas station or car repair shop is not what we need here. B1 is a neighborhood business, primarily light retail or service businesses, as Ms. Gray had originally described as a daycare or office building in the Planning Commission meeting. A light retail or service business is designed for the benefit of small residential areas that would support this neighborhood. If the people are going to be using this, we are requesting that it be B1 zoning, and if so, the neighborhood's butting up against it, it could use the same entrance and exit on Highway 11 that they're using. This road goes in, this is all unpaved roads here. This is dirt roads. We want to stay dirt roads. Walker Park Elementary that feeds this neighborhood, if they're coming out on George Williams to come down here, they're going to go up our county dirt roads across here to get to Walker Park Elementary. But if you think they're not going to go on our dirt roads, then where are they headed? They're going to Highway 11 anyways. So why can't this rezone of that commercial property that is supposed to feed this business, which it will only do if it's a B1, then combine that entrance exit for that with the neighborhood and help us to allow for this rezone for this neighborhood and also satisfy the constituents who are voting for you, who want to keep our little road, A1, keep it rural, keep it beautiful. It's been used in multiple movies, that George Williams Road that they're trying to take this in and off of, for cross-country scenes because of its beauty. We don't need cars hitting cows at Lance Marlowe's. We don't need them hitting kids on golf carts or people riding horses on George Williams or families that use that road to walk up and down. 99 houses will be about 200 extra cars. Let's help set a precedent that Walton County can choose its citizens over a developer coming in. We want to have a voice. We want to see these people allowed to rezone. We're not opposing necessarily the rezone of the neighborhood. But you can keep us happy and keep our property and our road A1 by having that entrance exit on Highway 11 and making that commercial match the actual request and be a B1 zoning, not a B2.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, is there anyone else who would like to be heard in opposition? There's about 5 minutes left.
Hey, my name is Jenny Van Ostrom-Willett. I'm here on behalf of my client. My property address is in Madison, but I have an office here in Walton County. My office is at 242 Alcovey Street in downtown Monroe. I'm here to talk about just 3 points very quickly so everyone can speak. As June mentioned, the appropriate entrance exit for this subdivision would be Highway 11. The cars that come out, as it states right now, onto George Williams will travel approximately 2,258 feet. That's 56 cars if you leave a car length between, and there'll be 200 cars within the neighborhood. If you time that based on traffic count at 9 a.m. in the morning or 5 p.m. at night, it'll take approximately for all 200 cars to go about 2 hours. On George Williams. It'll take that same amount of time on Highway 11 too. There is 1,685 feet between George Williams and that entrance that could be proposed for the new development. That's not a lot of feet. They're all going to Highway 11 anyway. So first, I believe that we should keep the entrance on Highway 11. I'm a broker in the area. I sell real estate. I'm all for development. New homes in the area will provide more homes for us to sell, which I think is fantastic. So I'm not opposed to it. But I'm also a realtor that sold my clients at 3134 George Williams Road a magnificent house on 16 acres. They moved here for the beautiful, glorious look of George Williams, which is all agriculturally zoned, the entire street. They're bringing horses, they're moving their family, and they made a final life change to relocate to George Williams. Again, one of the most beautiful streets in the county. I just have to know, does the entrance on George Williams have anything to do with the fact that the DOT and Walton County don't get along? I mean, I just have to think that has something to do with it. There's no secret to that. Also, as June mentioned, B1 is neighborhood friendly. B2 is not. It's a highway district zoning. I think the reason that they are doing an R10SC neighborhood is 99 homes only requires one entrance. Anything over 99 homes would require 2 entrances, which would mean they would have to go out on Highway 11. And my final point is the green space that we are so glad that they are doing, and we hope that they'll consider giving more green space between the neighborhood and 3134 George Williams Road, because 6 houses backing up to a horse farm just doesn't seem fair with 50 feet of buffer, is that green space is also located in a floodplain, so they couldn't build on it anyway. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, there's a couple of minutes left. Anyone else would like to speak in opposition?
My name's Josh Parker. I'm also a local realtor and a local business owner, and I live in the area. Obviously, I'm pro land rights, pro community, and hey, I've said it several times before. If the shoe was on the other foot, and I could sell the property and make X amount of money, or sell it and make less, obviously, hey, you want your client to make more, or you want that person to make more. So I understand the dynamics there. I'm also pro common sense, and one of the points that I want to make based on the current layout of this particular development is, again, going back to the business part of this, and I don't know why we have gotten into this pattern with development on segregating residential from businesses and community spaces, why we've gotten into this pattern of where we need to keep them separated from one another. It just really doesn't make sense. But if you live in this neighborhood, hypothetically, and where the business district's going to be, or the business zoning is going to be for this development, let's say it's a daycare, a dog groomer, whatever it is, based on the information that I've gathered, you're going to turn right out of George Williams, onto George Williams. You're going to go down to Highway 11, you're going to turn right. To go into this business, you've got to turn right into the business. And here's the catch, nobody's brought this up. Apparently it's going to be a right in and a right out. So now you've left the business, you've got to take a right out. Instead of going back to the left, you've got to go right. You've got to go down south on Highway 11 and I guess find a place to do a U-turn or bust a block somewhere and go all the way back up Highway 11, turn left onto George Williams, go up George Williams and go back into the neighborhood. So I think it would, I guess a question to the commissioners is, why do you agree or not disagree with the fact of having the entry off of Highway 11 and connecting the businesses in the neighborhood together? So maybe hypothetically, you could actually walk. Somebody could walk to those businesses. And then secondly, I don't know why we have minimum square, and I'll wrap this up. I don't know why we have why do we have minimum square feet requirements in this county when square footage actually drives pricing? And according to the Walton County Development Authority, your average household income in Walton County is $80,000. And so the trend now in Walton County is with, the 2,000, 3,000 plus square foot homes. The homes that we're building, we're not necessarily building them for the community base that we have in place now.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.
And so how will that be a problem? Maybe not next year or 5 years from now, but 10 years from now, that's going to be a big problem for, for the county, for the school system, the firefighters, the sheriff's department.
We're past time, Mr. Parker.
So thank you.
All right. The applicant has about 5 minutes and 20 seconds to rebut.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the comment, and it sounds like we've got a lot of good neighbors that aren't necessarily opposed to growth. I did make note of some of the issues, and I'd like to just address those head on as I work through my notes here. Seems to be a common theme about concerns about the entrance being off George Williams Road. And so I'm going to try to go back to my presentation here to show the map. Here we go. So you'll see our proposed entrance on George Williams Road is a beautiful entrance, landscaped, gate, fencing. This is the type of place that a property owner, a potential buyer, wants to pull up to this entrance and buy a quality home in this development. We purposefully separated the commercial from the residential so that we could have a higher caliber of neighborhood, because property owners don't necessarily want to drive through a commercial development to get to their neighborhood. We purposely kept these separated. My client and I spent the last couple of weeks driving up and down Highway 11 to see if we could find any other residential development that had to enter through a commercial space, and we did not find one. And so we would ask that we keep these two spaces separate. This will allow us to build a nicer home, a home that somebody's willing to pay a little bit more money for, which helps everyone in the area keep their property values sustained, and allows us to keep the commercial businesses separate. A concern was expressed about the uses, the B2 uses. Again, our hope, but we don't have an end user yet, so we were keeping flexibility. Our hope was to have a daycare or office type use. We didn't intend to have a gas station or auto repair shop. That's not our intent for the use for that. And I guess there was mention about, keeping the adjoining property owners happy, but we asked that we not be treated differently than other residential neighborhoods developed that were approved by Walton County that aren't required to enter off of a major highway, and that were certainly not required to enter through a commercial development. I appreciate Mrs. Willett's estimate of traffic. I think, some of the assumptions were a little off. I don't think all 200 people are going to be leaving their homes at the exact same time every morning. I do agree, however, that the gravel part of Carl Davis and Lover's Lane, I think, will prevent traffic from heading down that way. So we do anticipate people exiting onto George Williams Road and then onto 11 to go about their day. And I did want to note that the George Williams Road will not be any less beautiful than it is today. In fact, our entrance is going to be enhanced. It'll still be the nice, 4-board fence that you see out there now. So we're making a real effort to blend with the rural character of the area, to keep our future residents safe, to keep the property values and the draw of this neighborhood and the caliber of homes that we can build there and support selling there, keep that high, which is beneficial to all of our adjoining neighbors who have joined us here tonight. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Are there any questions for Ms. Gray? All right, with that, we'll close the public hearing.
Chairman, I'm going to make a motion to approve this as approved by the Planning Commission with the exception of the commercial property, which will be B1 and consistent with professional-type office spaces, daycare, medical offices, no vape stores, no convenience stores, no tattoo shops, nothing like that, but approve with all the planning and zoning recommendations with that exception on the commercial.
We have a motion.
I second.
We have a second. Any other questions? I'll call the motion. Call the vote.
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. And let the record show that I did not vote. I abstained. You get the chairman. That's it.
Okay, we're on item 6.3.
Yes, sir. Item number 6.3, rezone Z25-0311, rezone 48.84 acres from A1 to B3 for a technical training facility. Applicant, Dycom Industries, Inc. Owners, Bobby Smith Chansey, Darren S. Waleski, John Mark Mazawi, Jeffrey Miles Mazawi. Property located at 1098 Highway 78 and Jim Dogs Road. Map and parcel is C164-116 and 164-121. This is in District 6. There was no one in opposition at the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission recommended approval with the following conditions. Conditional use for the residential aspect for manager to live there 24/7, and housing for people that come in to train for their overnight stay.
All right. I'll turn it over to the county attorney to open the public hearing.
All right, we'll open the public hearing on this matter. Would the applicant come forward to address the board?
All right. Well, good evening once again. I'm Andrea Gray, 300 East Church Street, Monroe, Georgia. Tonight, I also have the pleasure of representing Dycom and the request for approval of a technical training facility and retreat on 48.84 acres at Jim Dawes and Highway 78. The property, again, is located with frontage both on Highway 78 and on Jim Dawes Road. This gives a little bit better depiction of what we're near. So this property is directly across Jim Dawes Road from Minerva, which is zoned N1 in the city of Monroe. Also across the street from property held by the Development Authority of Walton County, also zoned for M1 across the street there. We are currently zoned, we've got 2 parcels, but we're zoned A1 and we're requesting to go to B3. This property is in the highway corridor future land use designation, which is consistent with our B3 request and consistent with the properties that adjoin us going down Highway 78, and again with those across the street with Minerva and the Development Authority property. So who is Dycom? Dycom is a publicly traded company with offices in all 50 states. They employ over 15,000 people, and they're the leading provider of specialty contracting services to telecommunications, infrastructure, and utility industries across the United States. The vision that they set out with this training facility is to create consistency and quality of training. This will be their first training facility in the United States. It'll allow people to have a personal connection with the company and the brand, and it creates an all-in-one campus with classroom training, hands-on training, lodging, and fun. And it'll provide a true work retreat experience for those coming to train there. And also, Dycom really does want to become a part of this community. They have an office here in Monroe and several in the metro area, but they're very much interested in integrating into the Monroe, Walton County community. So why did they select Walton County? It's obvious to us, right? It's the greatest place in Georgia to be. But they also looked at the concentration of local offices that they have and the commutability for their staff to be able to come here for training sessions. Of course, the Atlanta airport is a draw. And you see on the map here with the dots, you'll see the high concentration of dots. Those are offices all throughout Georgia and the southeast. Obviously, the beautiful countryside of Monroe was attractive to them as they're looking for more than just a training facility, but also a retreat. They've also enjoyed, are experiencing our local restaurants and shopping here. And the site was voted #1 by their leadership team. The facility components will include classroom training, traditional classroom building with modern learning spaces, hands-on training. There'll be a pole yard, driving course, underground utility field, and a mock residential neighborhood to create real-world scenarios for these trainees to learn. Trainee accommodations, they'll be housed in lodges. They can hold up to about 40 people, so this is not a huge operation, right? We're holding about 40 people at a time. And it'll include recreational spaces for these people to enjoy themselves. We've got an on-site manager. There's an existing house on the property. I'll show you in just a moment. And we will have an on-site manager at all hours of the day. He will actually live in this house to make sure that all is well with the overnight lodging. Actually, he's here with me today, Mr. Tom Bones, who, raise your hand. He will be the on-site manager. That is the guy. Retreat-like setting, natural preservation was a key part of the site design. It's got very low impervious surfaces, only 20%. Ordinance allows up to 75%. Enhanced privacy for our adjoining properties. Anywhere there was an adjoining residential property, we added a 100-foot buffer. We're fencing the entire perimeter, and there will be a security gate as well. All lighting will be designed to be facing downward. They want to be a good steward. They want to be a good neighbor. All activities for training will happen during normal business hours. And again, our on-site manager, Mr. Tom here, will make sure that everything is in order and oversee all operations during the training sessions. The site plan I've handed out to you because it's very difficult to see on the screen, but the first that I've handed out shows all the key features of the development. So the main entrance comes off of Jim Dawes Road, and as you head in from Jim Dawes, you'll see the security entrance and gate there. As you keep coming down, you'll see on the left, you've got the classroom training facility and a storage area for some of the supplies that they'll need to do these trainings. As you come further into the site, on the south side, you'll see the pole yard, and then on north of that, you'll see the underground field. And as a part of both of those, there's the mock neighborhoods. And no, we're not going to build actual houses. Those will be likely little storage buildings, but will serve the purpose of letting trainees learn how to wire buildings. And then you'll notice right in the middle of the site is where we've positioned the lodging. And that is on purpose to make sure it is a retreat-like feel, to surround it by green space and to really insulate it from any of our adjoining property owners there. And then Moving up towards Highway 78, you've got the driving course, and then towards the left there, you see the admin office, which is the existing house that Mr. Tom will be occupying there. And this is a 3D view of all the same things, but to me, this view really emphasizes how much green space is going to be left, how large the buffers are for our neighbors, and really just, the retreat-like setting that has been created in this site plan. Project highlights, this facility will create jobs in and of itself. We expect, 4 or 5 full-time people as a part of the site, but it's training hundreds of people that will work in our community and other communities in Georgia and across the United States. It's a real opportunity for blue-collar workers to get their start and to have a meaningful career in this industry. They'll be contributing to the local economy. They'll be getting catering. People will be eating at our restaurants. And I've already talked them into being a new corporate partner here in Walton County to be a true contributor to our society here. We've designed this for minimal disturbances to our neighbors with the 100-foot buffers, all the green space. Again, we're only training about 40 people at a time, so not a lot of traffic coming and going. Even the 40 people aren't going to be coming and going at the same time. So very minimal traffic. And again, these are passenger cars, other than a few trucks that would come in for supplies if needed. But a very low-density development. We did reach out to our neighbors very early on. We sent them a flyer telling them all about the site. We got a few questions and made sure we helped the neighbors understand what this really was and that it is more about a retreat setting than about bringing in some kind of industry. We're not manufacturing anything. We're not creating noise or smells or any of those kind of things that sometimes people think about with an industrial type use. And so I think our neighbors are satisfied that we've made efforts to protect them in this development. And so again, our request is to approve the rezoning of 48.84 acres from A1 to B3 for our technical training facility and retreat. With the Planning Commission added the conditional use for the residential aspect for our manager, Mr. Tom, to live there 24/7 and housing people in the lodging during their training sessions. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Any questions for Ms. Gray? Thank you. Is there anyone else here that would like to speak in favor of this request? There's a little over a minute left.
Bernard Burns, 7028 Grand Vista Lane. I support this. I would just encourage the commissioners to consider a recruiting goal for this company for our local students in our Walton County schools. I think they need people. I think that would be a good addition to the proposal.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Okay. Entertain a motion on this application.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I make a motion we approve this rezone with the conditional use for residential aspect for the manager to live on site and for housing for the people to train in there, and also add a request that they try to do as much local recruiting as possible, to the gentleman's point.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Who was the second?
Second was
Lee.
Mr. Bradford. All right, I'll call the vote. All those in favor of this, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimously.
Item 6.4 on the agenda is AZ 25-0328, alteration of zoning conditions on 8.74 acres Applicant is Danny Cagle. Owner is Jeff Vander Mark, Pinnacle Sports Academy. Property is located at 120 Highway 78. Parcel was C-189, map 189, parcel 2, and this is in District 4. The applicant is requesting an alteration to remove all zoning conditions on case Z25-0155, which approved the following. Variance on the right side, setback of 20 feet. Required hours of operation is 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Saturday. No crushing on the weekends, must have plantings and berm as shown on the revised site plan. A maximum of 15 trucks on site overnight, which must be associated with the operation. No idling of trucks on site, and the rezone is for this purpose only. So the alteration to zoning, the applicant is requesting the following: to allow parking of RV and boats, and approve a variance for the right side of 20 feet and 0 setback to the north to remain in place.
Okay, any questions from the board? All
We'll
right,
open the
I'll
public
turn it over
hearing.
for the public hearing.
We'll open the public hearing on this matter. Would the applicant like to address the board? Please state your name and address.
I'm Chris Cagle, 1243 Dove Creek Road. It's simple. We don't have all the conceptual site plans and whatnot that Ms. Gray did, but it's simple for us. We're just looking to add the ability to have parking for RV and boats, and all other conditions remain in place, as she mentioned. Any questions?
Any questions for the applicant?
So you're trying to, explain again about the conditions. You want to remove the conditions or keep the conditions?
I don't think there is a condition restricting it necessarily. We just want to allow for it. It talks about parking, and we want
He wants to allow for boat and RV parking.
So the hours and stuff still stay the same, just adding RV and boats?
Correct.
Because I guess I misunderstood. I thought you were trying to remove those conditions.
No, add them.
Okay, okay.
Those were the original conditions that were added.
So we're not removing those, those are staying, you're just adding RVs and boats?
Adding RV and boats.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they're only removing for this use only.
For this use only?
Specific use, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of this request? Is there anyone like to speak in opposition? Please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Russell Bennett. I live next door there on that farm, 134 Highway 78. Only reason I'm here, I was here last time before you when this property was initially trying to be rezoned to RV and boat parking. And my concern was that it would be used for big truck parking, tractor trailer parking, which I have concern with. I've got a family that I'm raising next door. I farm this land. I stated concerns about the big trucks pulling in and out of this parcel because they're going to have to, if they're going westbound, they're going to have to take a right, make a U-turn. And if they're going, it's just not a good place to pull big trucks in and out of. If they're coming from the east, they're going to have to turn around where there's already a lot of traffic from the landfill in front of my house there to get to the entrance to this property. So, I've spoken with the applicant. I wasn't here to oppose the rezone of the property to M1, but I'm just concerned that this boat RV parking is aiming at the same thing that they were going for before, which is the big truck parking, the tractor trailer parking, which I'm concerned with that because of safety for my family. My kids walk around this property. I just don't, prefer not to have big trucks parked there overnight, that kind of thing, just for safety purposes. But that's really all I have in opposition is that concern that it would turn into big truck parking. Don't have any problem with RV or boat parking. That's actually a great neighbor. But, my true concern is that it turns into, to the big truck parking. So appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in opposition? Would the applicant like to say anything else? All right, with that, we'll close the public hearing.
All right, public hearing is closed, and I personally don't see big trucks allowed. They're asking for boats and RV parking. But entertain a motion on 6-4.
I agree with Mr. Chairman. They're not asking for big trucks. They're just asking to amend to allow for boat and RV parking, which I'd like to make that motion to allow for boat and RV parking.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimously.
All right, item 6.5, it's all AZ 25-0338, alteration to zoning conditions on 11.56 acres. The applicant is Danny Cagle. Owner is Ho-Hum LLC, property located at 2720 Ho-Hum Holler Road and Lowry Road and Highway 78. It's map 61, parcel 156. And this is in District 1. The applicant has requested an alteration to zoning to remove condition number 3 on case 22040004, which approved the rezone with the following. On Lowry Road side of the fence, the applicant shall install a single row of large evergreen trees similar to Japanese cryptomeria or Thruga green giant spaced 25 foot on center, or Leland cypress 10 foot on center. Trees must be a minimum of 8 foot tall at the time of installation, and the applicant has withdrew this application completely.
So the applicant has withdrawn this application?
Yes, sir.
Then we need to entertain a motion to accept the withdrawal of this application.
I motion to accept the withdrawal.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Thank you.
All right.
6-6.
Last item, 6.6, is OA 25-0356. It's amendment to the impact fee ordinance. And currently, the way our ordinance currently reads, we would have to go through the same steps to amend the ordinance as we would to have to as we did when we initially started the program, such as having to have a steering committee. The OCGA does not require this by law, so we would like to amend the ordinance to take out the verbiage of having to have a steering committee. And this would be considered our first public hearing, and in December will be our second and final hearing. And the board would also be voting on the increase of an impact fee amount.
All right. Any questions from the board, what we're doing?
Question. We've already voted to approve the increase, so we're going to that needs to be rescinded on the, you said we're going to vote again in December after the action, or what happens there? Because we've already voted just in October.
I would just recommend voting again based on just making sure we're following the public hearing protocol.
Okay.
I don't think you need to rescind anything. It's not going to hurt anything.
Thanks.
Motion to approve.
Well, let's do a public hearing first. That's one of the things we're doing. And then the other part was just clarifying the language of the ordinance. But y'all have heard, the public's heard about the plan to increase the impact fees at the last meeting, but we want to give you an opportunity to be heard on this matter one way or another. if you would like. So we'll have a public hearing on the proposed increase in impact fees. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I assume we closed the public hearing since no one stepped forward. Thank you. I call the question. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Passes. All right, your administrative consent agenda. Are there any questions on any of the items on the administrative consent agenda? If not, I entertain a motion that the consent agenda be approved.
I make a motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve consent? We got a second? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? All right, finance, got a fiscal year 26 budget amendment.
The first item is Planning and Zoning, 7,400, budget amendment to transfer expenditures from personnel in the amount of $78,027.56 from Code Enforcement Department to Planning and Zoning Department, from Code Enforcement Department 7450 to Planning and Zoning Department 7400. This is moving funds from one position to another position. This transfer would have no effect on the fund balance. The second item is for EMA 3920, a budget amendment to transfer expenditures in the amount of $16,107.33 from R&M service agreement to equipment. This is being done to cover expenses for a drone and accessories for public safety use. This transfer would have no effect on fund balance. And then we got tax assessor. We're doing a budget amendment transfer from revenues reimbursement expense in the amount of $505 to expenditures for education and training by $505. This would have no effect on fund balance. Parks and Recs, we've got a budget transfer to move funds in the amount of $4,900 from general supplies to vehicles. This is being done to cover the additional funds on 2 vehicles purchased that were approved during the FY26 budget process. This would have no effect on fund balance. Tax Commissioners 1545, a budget amendment to increase the revenues reimbursement expense in the amount of $450 to expenditures for education and training by $450. This is a result of a refund on training classes that did not attend to. This would have no effect on fund balance. And then SPOS, the budget amendment is to increase the budget expenditure contract labor by $115,500. This relates to the resurfacing project link budget approved at the September 2nd board meeting. This amendment would result in an overall decrease in the fund balance in the SPOS fund.
All right, any questions? Well, the board entertain a motion to approve these budget amendments.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second to get it to a vote. Any other questions? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Okay, 8.2. And this is our roads and bridges project length budget for the deep patching and resurfacing, where we have to pay 30% to get the state's grants for the, what's the total amount of this project?
The grant was $1,603,858.23. The 30% match will be $481,157.47, and the total amount will be $2,210,000.
I'll proudly make a motion on that one to get this grant for our paving.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions from the board? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Thank you.
The vacation buyback, please come back. We have approved this the last 2 years. Explain the vacation buyback.
So I'm coming back before the board to ask to be amended again. Usually in the past we do when we ask for 2 times during the fiscal year. This time we're only asking at the moment for 1 time during the year. The purpose of the annual leave payout is to provide an additional benefits for the employees who, for reasons for workload, have maxed out vacation and may lose some of their accumulated time. It is not meant to encourage employees to avoid taking annual leave, but due to circumstances, some of the employees and stuff are unable to use their time. So we are asking the board to be able to allow them to have a payout. Those are eligible to be able to not lose, their hours because of workload.
Any questions from the board? Entertain a motion on the vacation buyback.
I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
A second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous. Who's going to speak about the lease financing for the 32 units for the Sheriff's Department?
I'll take care of that one, sir.
All right.
This is all within budgeted funds. We have been limping along and replacing 10 vehicles a year. This converts the outright purchase to a lease program and accelerates the replacement of those vehicles, and you'll see a significant decrease in repair and maintenance. And our lease purchase agreement through Loganville Ford, keeping that purchase local, will also result in a partnership with Loganville Ford where they will be providing free oil changes as part of this program.
And does it fit in the present budget?
Everything associated with this fits within the present budgeted funds.
All right. Any questions from the board?
To approve.
We got a motion to approve.
A second.
We got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous. Okay, Sheriff's Department, we got an addendum on school resource officers agreement.
So the only thing we did, Chip, correct me if I'm wrong, is we just updated that agreement. It was a very old agreement. And through CHIP services, we went through and updated.
I think it was even more basic than that. I think they proposed one revision to comply with some new law.
Open records law, I
right,
believe it was,
exactly.
yeah. So it's just an update. There's no substantial changes.
I
We
don't
just
have any
updated the
concerns
agreement.
about it.
Well, I support our school resource officers. Anybody got any questions on this addendum to the agreement? Entertain a motion to approve it.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. I need a second, please.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Okay, the agreement with Victory Baptist School with the Sheriff's Department.
So all we're doing there is the same thing that we do with other private schools, Chairman, Board, is, they are private schools, so we don't put full-time employees there for school resource officers. But they have reached out and asked to contract with us to provide those services. We're providing them with 2 deputies that they pay. We have no dog in that fight. Reserve deputies, they do reimburse the county for the equipment expenses.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Entertain a motion on this agreement.
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous. 9-3 agreement, Motorola cameras. Are these the VEST cameras?
So what we have here, the sheriff tasked us with really beating some vendors over the head to to try to get more value for our tax dollars. We have to put in-car cameras in all of our vehicles, or the majority of them. That, because the way these companies work, we cannot include that equipment in the lease. Motorola, Axon, no company will allow us to run that agreement through Ford, so it has to be a separate agreement. We got all the vendors working against each other, and the bottom line is no increase in the budget using existing money that's within our budget. We're outfitting part of those 32 cars in the lease agreement, and then as part of that package, we got them to give us vastly reduced pricing for body-worn cameras. So with this agreement, we will be able to outfit, for the first time ever, all of our uniformed patrol deputies and our school resource officers with body-worn cameras. And that also includes cameras for vacant positions, which we are rapidly hiring for.
All right, any questions from the board?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion to approve?
Second.
We got a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous.
Thank you.
All right, contracts, the Alcovey Judicial Circuit. Budget amendment. Sorry, Your Honor, making you toward the end of the agenda.
Perfectly fine. I've had to make a person wait or two a little while myself, so I understand it. What we're asking for here is an adjustment to allow for the courtroom 2 to be brought in line with the other courtrooms technology that's already been approved. It will make all 8 Superior Court courtrooms in the Alcovey Judicial Circuit using the exact same technology. Courtroom 2 wasn't a part of the original because it had been redone several years ago, but it kind of became, it's now kind of an outlier and doesn't use the same technology. By bringing technology to that courtroom, it's going to help us with being able to handle remote court with the jail, and it will also allow us to have more useful technology in the courtroom so that lawyers can be better advocates and improve efficiencies. There's one additional change that will be applied to all the courtrooms, and that is a camera that will be a pan, zoom, and tilt camera. The original contract used cameras that give you a bit of a God view, sort of upwards from the top. And we had planned, if we ever had a trial that needed media output, that we would be able to use the technology in place to do that and not do any changing to our courtroom. The camera that's on the judge and the witness would not do that. So this is a slight change in that way. Most important thing you need to know is this doesn't change the overall approved. It just moves the allocation from so that we can add them in. I think these were reserve funds. Any questions?
All right, how much money are we talking about total?
Well, it's a part of the original. These are all ARPA funds that were the original, and the change is going to be for courtroom 2 would be a revision of right at $99,000, but it is already part of the approved amount of ARPA funds.
Okay.
So you've already agreed to it. It's just allowing us to use it. It was, as I understand it, it was that these were part of the contingency or part of the reserve funds, and we are now going to allocate 99 for that. And that'll bring in line like I said, courtroom 2, courtroom 1, 3, and 4 have already been updated. We're using that technology. They're finishing up now. It's just a different,
I guess, what I'm looking at on the AV modernization is Newton County cost and Walton County.
so, right, there's actually something in there that is wrong. If you look at ECO 19, it's got $6,000.
$6,672.36.
That is the wrong column. That should be in the Newton County column.
That should be in the Newton, okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, we want to keep our court systems running properly, so,
I think that the sheriff would say that some of the updates that we've done have made running the jail courtrooms, the equipment we've provided on that end, have made things much better and improved our efficiency to process inmates and not move them, not have that cost of transporting them. We'd like to bring that fourth courtroom up to date so that we can have that access there as well.
all right. Any questions from the other board members?
Motion to approve. Second.
We got a motion approved and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? All right, professional service agreement, breaker cycle counseling, skills, and this is for the juvenile court. I've read this contract. Have you reviewed it?
I have, and there was a comment on there for subject to county attorney review. I've been working closely with Judge LaMalva, who's here on this.
Okay.
And we have now gotten the agreement fully updated. You approved a similar contract last month that had to do with grant funding. This is another contract that I have reviewed. It's a slightly updated draft than what's in your packet, but it is ready to go.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve this one for the break the cycle counseling for juvenile court.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimous. And 10.3 is GDOT request, indication of roundabout support, State Route 81, June Ivy Road and Bentley Road. And this is a request from GDOT that we would, if they do it, that we would maintain the lighting and the landscaping, correct?
That is correct.
So it's a typical first step of GDOT looking at a roundabout.
This same acceptance was on the Bold Springs roundabout back in, I believe, 2015.
So you need a motion to.
We do. We need to formally accept.
Motion to accept.
We got a motion to accept.
Second.
We got a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Passes unanimous. We have some appointments, and the Walton County Hospital Authority are recommending some appointments to their hospital board. And I'd like to, I've talked with Dr. Adams. He said that he would love to serve on this board. And I'd like to change one of them to Dr. Adams, Tanya Parr, and Sandy H-A-U-P-T. How you?
Haupt.
Haupt. And make that recommendation to the hospital authority.
Motion to approve.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? The Board of Assessors has recommended, I went brain dead.
Glenn Barton.
Thank you. Glenn Barton back on the Board of Assessors. He's got 20 years' experience and all the training up to date. Entertain a motion to appoint him back to the Board of Assessors.
Motion to approve him.
We got a motion to approve?
Second.
We got a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? And Azalea Regional Library Board of Trustees has made a recommendation for the Stanton Memorial Library, has a vacancy, and they request Matt Remillard be appointed to fill this vacancy starting October 1st, that ended October 1st, 2025. Anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We got a motion to approve. We have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose? We have no one signed up to speak tonight in public comment. Are there any announcements that any of the board members want to make? We do have need for executive session, land acquisition, and economic development, so I need a motion to leave the regular meeting and go to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? We will now go in executive session, and once that's over, if we have anything to announce, we'll come back out and announce. And if we don't, we'll come back out and adjourn.
Sit here for a minute.
Come back to regular meeting from executive session.
Move.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You got a motion and a second. Pick whoever you want, Rhonda. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We adjourn.
Hey, do we need to keep